So I know you have seen my first video, and I had kind of been explaining a little bit about never really having a home, and this video I'm going to explain that to you more. Um, uh, I was born in Russia. I was born to alcoholic parents who couldn't take care of me. Um, Hence, there was no home. Um, and then I ended up living with my babushka, um, which means grandma in Russia, just so you guys know. And I lived with her until I was about 2.5 to 3 years old. She took care of me when I was a baby, and she gave me all the love in the world. She was an amazing, amazing person, and she couldn't take care of me anymore. There was laws and yada yada. So she had to put me in the orphanage, not by her will, but because that is what the law required her to do in Russia. But she wanted me to have a fresh start. I had a cleft palate, I had like hearing problems, and all this crazy stuff. And so she put me in the orphanage, and when I was 3.5, I got adopted and came to the United States. And here's the rough part I'm going to tell you, because I know not a lot of people are open about this. Um, and I can understand why. It's a hard subject, but it's also one that does need to be talked about, because there are so many children that go through this and feel like they have no voice. I was abused very, very torturously for 60 years, living with my first American family. I had a mom and a dad and an older brother, and I was abused by my mom. She hated me. She just hated me. So from the time I was 3.5 to 9 years old, I was scared to talk. I was petrified to talk, and let me tell you, it's a whole different world, when you are living just terrified of every moment, every second that you are alive every day, and you're just scared. Every little thing you do, I felt like I could hardly breathe without being hit. I was kept in a room for most of the 6 years. She'd pull my hair. She'd stick her long nails down my throat, make my throat bleed. She would, hit me. She once slammed the back of my head with a board because it accidentally fell off in the bathroom. It wasn't even my fault, but she needed somebody to blame. She was such an unhappy woman, and she needed somebody to take it out on. And I was young, so of course I didn't really know, because I grew up accustomed to that, and I was too scared to say anything, and I'd go to school, try to make excuses, and um, you know, teachers and friends' parents, they had their concerns. They knew there was something wrong, but one thing I will say is the foster system, especially in California, because that's where I was at the time, down Southern California, Orange County, is a cruel. It's cruel. It's an awful system. Child Protective Services don't really do much, because they came to the house, but I never knew. They didn't they didn't do anything, and I think that's the worst. You have this child, and so many children around the world, and they are just living in a world of fear and torture, and so many people just wouldn't know, because they're too scared to speak out. So my message is that if you have a feeling or anything that there's, something going on with a child, please don't be afraid to try to do something about it, because you never know when you are saving a kid's life. And um, I think that's all important for all of us to be very aware of. So, anyways, after 6 years of that misery, I they dropped me off at another house and basically were like, "See you later. We don't want to be your family anymore," even though this is the only family you've ever really known. And that was horrifying for me, because yeah, through all of that, they still were my family, and I ended up actually with a single mother who I never really caught on to it in the beginning, but I kind of did later on, just a few years ago. Actually, she was gay, and I am not one to have a thing against gays. I will explain this to you in a second, why this is kind of weird. But no, I have nothing against gays. I'm going to be honest. I've had girlfriends in the past, so. But this woman, I was 9. She took me in, and I did not like her from the start, let me tell you. But with good reason, too. Good feeling just never was there. She ended up sexually abusing me. For someone that's supposed to be my mom, and for what I knew previous as a mom, it was a head turner. Like, it just changed everything, and I was so confused. 9 years old, 9-year-old child, horrified. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what was right from wrong. I didn't, like, Lordy, I mean, abuse me, torture me, neglect me for 6 years, drop me off at some other lady's house, and then she ends up sexually assaulting me. So needless to say, I went on a downward spiral where I started cutting myself at school with sticks, you know, wouldn't talk to any other kids. Really, I was a loner. I would sit on a swing and just daydream, and I constantly tried running away. I would be throwing tantrums, and she got fed up with it. She couldn't deal with it, and I didn't want her to, because I didn't want to be there, and I was acting out in every way I could without having to say, this is what she's doing to me, or making me do to her. I didn't want to say that. I just wanted somebody to realize that I was in pain, and I was suffering, and I wanted to die. I ran out in the middle of a freaking highway where there's cars, going by and going by, and I remember we were waiting for something, and I just looked, and I just booked it. Just started running towards the cars, just like, please hit me, kill me now. I can't take it anymore. And I mean, she was much taller, and I was kind of like malnourished and just very tiny, so it's not like I could really run that fast anyway. She's a taller woman, so she grabbed me right before I could even jump out there, and thankfully I'm still alive today, get to live and tell my stories. So after a few months, she wrapped me up in a blanket, threw me in the back of the car, dropped me off at a foster home. Now, the foster home, that's another story as well. I lived in that foster home for, I want to say, like 8 months or so. It was a few months after I was 9 until about 10 years old. I lived in the foster home. And the beginning, I slaved away. I did slave work. I jumping jacks. I had to do laps around a pool. And mind you, this is in 100-degree weather in California. I was like maybe 70 pounds or so, just tiny, tiny little thing. I looked like I was 6, and I was 9. And she had all these foster kids, and we felt like we were being punished for not having a home. What did we do wrong? Is it because we rebelled and we, just couldn't say how we were hurting, so we acted on it instead. And because of that, no one wanted us. They weren't willing to dig beneath the surface, to really reach in, take hold of our hearts and saying, I am not letting your heart go. I'm not letting you go. I'm not going to hurt you. We didn't have that. We were doped up on pills, a bunch of different pills. Made to do slave work, pick up all the leaves, put them in bags. If there was anything wrong, we would have to do either 100 laps or 100 jumping jacks. If we stopped, we'd have to start all over again. Even if we were crying in pain, sweating, about to die, keel over, whatever, we were fed foods we didn't like. I didn't have much school. I was helping teach the other kids' schools, and it's just the foster homes. There needs to be better foster homes. There needs to be better systems where kids can feel comfortable and feel okay, because this world is just not okay. Because let me tell you, some of those kids, they had such a good heart, but no family was willing to give them a chance. Was willing to stick around to see that heart blossom, and that's saddening. So my heart goes out to them and all the kids in foster care. And I spent many nights crying and asking myself, why, Lord, why do I deserve this? What did I do so wrong? But near the end of it, I came to change a lot of their lives, because I stopped feeling sorry for myself and I began working hard. And when they would have a problem, they would come to me, and you know, if they were upset, I would go calm them down. I would talk to them, and I, just let them know how deserving they were. And it's going to be forever in my heart and my mind, the rest of my life, that the experience I went through with these children. And it was a blessing in disguise, really, because I was there for a reason. I was there to help those kids, and they still think about me to this day. And I saw them actually just this last summer. I went on a trip down to Cali, and I got to see the foster home and the kids, and they still remember me, and it was a good experience. But anyways, so my 10th birthday, I got a forever family, and we'll get more into that detail in another video. But that's my last family that I've had, and I am in no longer contact with them. I don't wish to be, but considering this video is long enough, I will get into that whole section another time. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, or not really enjoyed it, but just to kind of really make you think about, other children. And I mean, maybe you're a teenager and you're hating your parents for taking your cell phone away because you messed up, or you're not getting good grades, or if you're able to watch this and just kind of see that there is so much worse, and that there are people that are experiencing it, and maybe it's somebody in your classroom and you would never know, because we can hide it very well. So I just want you to take some time and to think about that. Maybe send out a prayer for those kids that, are going through a rough patch. Or, maybe you are looking to adopt. And if you are and you're going to adopt, please do not give up on those kids, because they do get better. They just need somebody to show them that they can get better, and to have faith and hope in them, even, when they're throwing tantrums and when they throw fits, because it will pass. It will take a lot of work, it will take a lot of time, but it will pass. So that's my message today. And I'm really glad to have been able to share all this with you. Kind of get it off my chest a little bit, and I will see you next time. Thank you.